so this is a short clip to explain to you one of your most basic A2 essay writing skills, which is grounding. So you might hear your teachers use this quite a lot, and it's because it's very, very important. So I'm just going to talk you through what it is and some examples. Now, also, if once you've watched this, you kind of want some more information, then this PowerPoint will also be available on the VLE next to this clip, so you can just click on it afterwards and you can print it off and keep it as your notes. Okay, so what is grounding? Okay, grounding itself is a term that we've made up at BASVIC, but basically what it means is it's a skill of being able to link any piece of research you put into an essay back to the title, okay? So it is only relevant for research studies, not for theories. So research studies. Okay, so basically, yeah, it's about linking it back to the title. So why is it called grounding? Now, if you remember why it's called grounding, I think it helps you to remember the skill. It's called grounding because if you put a piece of research into an essay and do nothing with it, then it's kind of floating around in your essay and it makes no sense and it's irrelevant, it's totally irrelevant. However, if you get this piece of research and you ground it into the title, so you make it link to the title, so you ground it in, then it becomes relevant and you get AO2 marks. Otherwise, it's not relevant. And that is where we got the term grounding from. So it's how you make your research studies relevant in your essays. Okay. So how do you do it? Okay, right, so immediately, this is how you should be thinking. As soon as you put a piece of research in an essay, you should immediately be thinking, I should ground this now. So after every piece of research, you should be thinking, I should ground it. So what do we mean? How could you do that? So what it is you've got a piece of research you're stating, does the research support the title? Does the research contradict the title? That's it, really, that's simply it. Now obviously, so we've got some examples. This research supports a biological model because. And that would be basic grounding. What we're going to show you now is how you can do basic, kind of effective and then really effective grounding. Okay, so if we need to use an example. So just say your title is Stress Affects the Immune System. Okay? And so therefore, all of your research must be linked to this. Does stress affect the immune system? So an example we've got is Keycock Glaser, which I know you all know from AS. So I don't need to go into it too much about this. But Keycock Glaser found medical students during their finals had a lower T-cell count than at other times. So now how do you ground this into the essay? Well, obviously, immediately afterwards, you would have to make a statement saying whether it supported or whether it went against stress in the immune system. So be having a think. Does it support, does it go against? Okay, so this is how you do it. This here is what I would write next to your essay, basic grounding. This is the basics, so you probably get quite low marks for this. So this supports the idea that stress does in fact affect the immune system. So you're grounding it into the title, really basically, but you'll say, okay, here's my piece of research. Why is it in my essay? It's in my essay because it supports that stress affects the immune system. Now, good grounding would go on and explain that a little bit more. So for instance, it would say exactly why. So this supports the idea that stress in fact does affect the immune system, and then they've gone on to say a little bit more, because when students were most stressed, their T-cell count was lowest. So they've given you a little bit of evidence there. But it's still not perfect, because although it does link back, it grounds into the title, it hasn't really fully elaborated it. So often here, if you wrote this, you'd see on your essay fully elaborate. So this would be a perfect, fully elaborated point. The board is working. So, really good grounding. Right, so it's exactly the same, but if you just see at the end, we've got it supports it, basic grounding. Why? Because the T-cell count was lowest. That still doesn't really tell us why exactly does that support the idea that stress affects the immune system. Because we haven't said the link between T-cell and the immune system, and this is our last bit here. So here it goes on to say T-cell growth is prevented when cortisol is produced, and this occurs at times of stress. And so this research suggests that the stress of final exams has impacted the student's immune system. Then obviously there's more you could put here, but this would be a perfectly fully grounded point, because you've said basically how it links in, a little bit of evidence, and then you've fully linked it back to the title. So that is grounding. And it comes with practice, so you just need to do lots and lots of practice, but if you look over this clip again, if you need kind of a little bit more going over, and also you can print this off too from the VLE. Okay, that's it.